Now that the Queen's funeral has passed, I thought we'd do something a little fun and look at the best memes and posts mocking the Queen's death. Now, before someone comments saying it's disrespectful to mock someone who just died, think about how people might react when Vladimir Putin dies. Will you tell them it's disrespectful as well? Now, some people might think that's a little extreme, but watch till the end of the video to see how or why people feel this way. I think the Queen will want us all to live the way she did, with free public housing, basic universal income, and full government healthcare. Brilliant. Millions being spent on the Queen's death while thousands are homeless, on food banks, and millions in cost of living crisis. Her personal worth is 500 million plus, and royal family assets worth 28 billion. We pay our own funerals. Why can't her estate pay hers? It's amazing the amount of wealth you can accumulate when your family steals and enslaves half the world. Just an accurate statement, really. Can't stop thinking about how that lady lived nearly 100 years. Never had a job, never paid rent, just lived off public dollars, stolen wealth and vibes. We've never seen anything like her. She just might be the greatest grifting parasite the world has ever seen. Sadly, it is common for the Queen to die after colony collapse sets in. An appropriate one by someone called Climate Dad. 50 million people displaced, facing disease and starvation as the planet's 5th most populated country is all but annihilated. Not interested? A popular, unimaginably privileged 96-year-old woman dies. Let's shut down the fucking country. My sister lives in North Island and just texted saying the neighborhood has started lighting fireworks. Laughing my ass off. Irish and Black Twitter roasting Queen Elizabeth. Irish, Indian, Kenyan, Nigerian, South African, and Caribbean Twitter right now. Brilliant. As much as we Americans don't learn about Britain's crimes against Africans, Asians, Arabs, and Indians, we learn even less about the white-on-white aggressions against Irish, Scottish, and the Boers in South Africa. Black and brown people around the world who were subject to horrendous cruelties and economic deprivation under British colonialism are allowed to have feelings about Queen Elizabeth. After all, they were her subjects too. So Jeff Bezos actually commented on the insensitivity of people mocking the Queen's death. Here's a response to that. If Jeff Bezos is appalled by Twitter's reaction to the death of Queen Elizabeth, just wait till Jeff Bezos sees Twitter's reaction to the death of Jeff Bezos. Here's one from Australia that's pretty serious and definitely a good reason not to respect the Queen. Another example of the Queen's complicity in Australia's racist subjugation of Indigenous peoples. In 1954, on a visit to Australia, she personally signed a federal law providing for the forcible removal of Aboriginal peoples from their homes in the nation's capital territory. If you don't know about the stolen generation in Australia, please look it up. Oh, this is great. Queen Elizabeth won't see your funny little tweets about her dying, but her 4-year-old great-grandson, Prince Louis of Cambridge will, because I'm breaking into Balmoral Castle and reading them out loud to him. Invading places you don't belong is the British way. The monarchy would be proud. Nations. Everyone in England is distracted. It's the perfect time to get your stuff back from the British Museum. Oh, that's good. If someone can let me know about the accuracy of everything in this post, as I'm not going to swear upon it, but here we go. Besides the Kohinoor, which is worth 140 million today, Elizabeth's crown and scepter hold shards of the Star of Africa diamond, stolen from South Africa in 1905. They are worth 400 million. These shards alone could cover the cost of higher education for nearly 75,000 South African students. Damn this swindler. Don't celebrate the death of anybody. Brought to you by those that celebrate Columbus Day, Independence Day, and Thanksgiving. Every other day, native burial mounds are in danger of being destroyed for another Walmart or oil pipeline. But please tell me more about this respect for the dead that people of the US are so innately dedicated to. People always expect the oppressed to have compassion and never the oppressor. A reminder for those mad at people for making jokes, happy she's dead, etc. The Queen has oversaw brutal concentration camps in colonialized Kenya during the 1952-1960 Moi Moi Rebellion and has personally and repeatedly shielded credibly accused rapist Prince Andrew. That's it's pretty full on. Not saying mean things about the Queen dying is anti-Indigenous. People from colonized countries on hearing about the Queen's death. Yes, very sad. Anyways, mourn the Queen, Indigenous people. We don't do that here. When natives hear that the Queen died. I don't feel bad for Queen Elizabeth at all, actually. She ruled over colonies guilt-free. She defended her son who groomed children on Epstein's Island. She banned racial minorities from working for her until the late 60s. And she's just generally a terrible person. My heart is with all the First Nations peoples throughout the stolen wealth whose pain, loss and trauma are the only legacies left behind by Elizabeth. May the Queen take her colonizing self to her grave, period. Elizabeth has been queen for longer than any African state has been independent. At every hour of her reign, Elizabeth II had the opportunity to say, hold on, what we have done is wrong and we have to fix it. Failing that, she could have abdicated and championed the cause of oppressed people her family has harmed. She chose not to. Stop sanitizing her. Elizabeth II never apologized for the colonial legacy of looting from the global south. Not even with a plunder of the jewels stuck on her crown, stolen from Africa and India. Hell hasn't had a 5-star prospect like this since Hitler died. And for the last one, this just sums up certain people's reaction to the Queen's death around the world. If the royal family didn't know, motherfuckers hated them all over the world. They do now. Hashtag Queen, hashtag Irish Twitter, hashtag Queen Elizabeth. Clearly, like I said, people don't have to mourn the death of someone that they've never respected. And you don't have to tell them they do. So there you have it. Please leave a comment below about your thoughts. What should happen with the royal family in Britain if they should continue having colonial rule over all these countries they still control? Or should we have independence away from the royal family? And stop giving so much money to the royals. Just cut them off completely. Now is the perfect time to have the discussion about the importance of a monarchy, if it's still necessary in our society, and whether we should move past the royals as a whole.